Hi, and welcome to the PUL Championship Weekend here in Washington, D.C. My name is Asako Yamamoto. I'm going to be commentating the game with Sarah Lord. Hi, Sarah.
Hey Sako, how are you?
Good. What are you looking forward to in this game?
This game, I'm really looking forward to a rematch of a super exciting game we saw earlier this year. This game went to overtime back in Minnesota, and I'm really excited to see the changes the teams have made, the tweaks, and how they match up again. I hope we get another overtime game. That was really fun.
Yes, that was super exciting. I'm really excited to have Minnesota here for the first time, and the Washington, D.C. fans can watch them live in action. So here are the power rankings. From week 6 on to week 10. DC Shadow being 1, Minnesota Strike 2, New York Gridlock 3, securing this spot as the wildcard team. The decision of the PUL committee to choose Gridlock delighted Gridlock fans, but also very much disappointed a large number of Philadelphia Surge fans. Surge in its inaugural season had a 5-1 record and some great wins. And for those viewers who haven't done a deep dive into the process, the PUL established at the beginning of the season to have a 12-person rankings committee comprised of a non-player representative from each team to select the wildcard winner. According to the PUL press release, 7 of those members selected Gridlock, and only a single ranking point separated the two teams. It was undeniably a controversial decision, but also one that was laid out openly and fairly at the beginning of the season. Sarah, what are your thoughts on this?
I understand that Surge fans are frustrated. They do have a head-to-head win over Gridlock, but Gridlock is also the only team to beat Shadow this season, who has been very dominant in many other wins. So I think they're both just really deserving teams, and I wish 5 could be here, honestly.
Yes, so true. All right, so some players that we want to highlight. Number 1 coming up is Robin Fennick, powerhouse thrower, player overall on Minnesota Strike.
Yeah, I got the privilege to play with Robin for a season, and she is just one of the hardest working athletes, insane bids, huge throws. Who else could throw a hammer like that?
Like butter. She just opens up the field.
Yeah, she makes everyone else's life so much easier with these huge throws that really keep the defense honest. She's going to be a lot of fun to watch today.
Yes, she threw 23 assists through the season, 1 goal, and I don't think she even made all the games. She's commuting from Sacramento, so she only made it, I think, 4 of the games. And also on the New York side, Jenny De Jesus, powerhouse player, always finding the front cone.
She's got a real nose for the end zone, and just a tireless worker up and down the field. She's always cutting, makes great separation. I don't know. As a thrower, I'd love to throw to her because she just always seems to be open in the right place at the right time.
Relentless with her cuts.
And a great defender, too. If there's ever a turn, she can really go get the disc back.
Also a great human being. So.
Most importantly.
We're very excited to bring to you the Premier Ultimate League Championship Series here in Washington, D.C.
Yep, and Jenny with 17 goals, 6 assists, 3 blocks. Huge numbers, stacking them up for New York Gridlock. Huge contributor to the game.
Yeah, that's so many goals to score in one season. She's really driving that offense every time she steps out on the field, and it's super fun to watch.
Okay, now we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back.
And remind you to see any staff member if you require assistance. And now, fans, let's go over the rules of the park.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
Emma Peasley.
Welcome back to the PUL Championship here in Washington, D.C. The first semifinals, Minnesota Strike against New York Gridlock.
Number 44,
The Discraft Ultra Star is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
Coaches of the Minnesota Strike are Pat Niles and Carlos Lopez.
Take Carlos. Carlos is live. Carlos is live. Ready to take two.
Okay.
Live.
The players are getting ready for the game. I think the coin toss is happening. My U20 players are helping the coin toss. Minnesota Strike in dark, New York Gridlock in white. Exciting game is about to begin.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see these two teams match up again. Hoping for another close game, and I can't wait to get this started.
Yes. This is a matchup that is a rematch of a really tight game that was played fairly recently. It'll be exciting to see what adjustments have been made. There are some players who are missing who are here, some players who are there who are not there, so a little bit of a different ingredient list for each team.
Yeah, for Gridlock, I believe that Angela Zhu was not present for that previous game, and she is one of the premier handlers around, has played for Dartmouth, where she won the Callahan Award, and for Boston Brute Squad, and having her back will be a big boon for that team, I'm sure.
Minnesota Strike coming in with the only 6-0 record in the league, in the whole PUL, I think, during the regular season. Gridlock coming in with a 4-2 record, narrowly edging out Philadelphia Surge for the wild card slot. They beat DC Shadow, which probably helped them a lot in the power rankings.
Yeah, that was Shadow's only loss of the season that Gridlock was able to give them. And Gridlock's two losses, one were to the Strike team, and the other was to the Philadelphia Surge.
Assisting in today's disc flip to determine which team polls first are Josie McCarthy and Claire Kimball, who play for the DC area YCC team Swing Board.
That's the team I coach. Those are my ultimate kids. So proud.
And you can see Robin Fenig and Amy Jo there holding hands, maybe on different teams now, but I actually had the pleasure of playing with both of them on DC Scandal in 2019, as well as Danielle Byers, also on Strike, was on that team. Lisa Kowalski and Aki Young from Gridlock were on that team, so a bunch of people on this field have played with each other before, even if they're now matching up against each other.
Yes.
So that's always fun to see.
Yes. I mean, I feel like the more the players know each other, the more interesting the game can get. Because
Absolutely. When you know each other's favorite throw, favorite cut, you're able to take that away. And then what's their next move? How has their game evolved since you last played together? It really adds a lot more nuance that I'm excited to see.
And these two teams playing together, playing against each other after a really tight rematch. Also, I spoke to the coaches a little bit earlier, and both sides were saying that they studied the game a lot, thought about what adjustments to make, tried to kind of anticipate what adjustments the other team would make, and be flexible to that change also. So it's kind of a lot of, like, not mind games, but also a lot of strategery, I think, behind the rematch up.
Oh, absolutely. And both these teams have really smart coaches, really smart leadership within the players as well. Like, I'm sure both of them have come up with a lot of really good adjustments able to make, and I'm excited to see, having watched that first game and how exciting that was.
Yes.
Can't wait to see the rematch here.
Yes, very much so.
And that game, that the Strike did win, but it was only by 1 point in overtime, and it was in Minnesota.
Yes.
So now they're on neutral field. You know, it really feels like it's got to be a pick-em. Either team can really win this game,
That's
and
true.
that makes it a lot more exciting.
Minnesota did have to travel a little further. Hopefully that's not going to affect anything. And I think it's super exciting for the DC crowd to see Minnesota in action. Looks like the two lines are coming on, and I see a disc on Minnesota's hands. So looks like Minnesota is going to start with on the defense.
Yeah, this looks like Gridlock's traditional offensive line here. One adjustment you can already see is that for For the first part of their game against Strike last time, Amy Zhou, who's a huge playmaker for them, was primarily on the defense. And in the second half, switched over, played a few more O points, and I think that was really important to that game getting closer towards the end. And you can see here they start off with Zhou on that O line here.
Yes,
so that'll
she's
be
been playing
interesting to see.
so well this season.
She's
Big
just
contributor.
such a smart player, does everything right, all the little things we're talking about for this broadcast. If you all want to learn how to play Ultimate the right way, I would absolutely watch her.
So it looks like the three handlers are going to be Nina Finley, Tulsa Douglas, and Gina Cartagena on the O-line. And then 4 power cutters.
Yeah, Jenny Jesus from our opener, Amy Zhou, who we talked about a lot previously. Looks like Emily Barrett as well, and I believe Kara Sieber out there too.
And there's the first bull from Minnesota Strike. I know that Minnesota Strike has been very emphatic about making the resets difficult and making the powerful throwers on this team not get easy throws.
And interesting that Strike is starting off with the backhand force here. I feel like typically flick is what most teams default to, so it's probably to take away some of those really powerful flick hooks from players like Gina Cartagena and Tulsa Douglas.
Yes, you can see that the reset is being guarded very tightly. New York being very patient with the disc so far. Tulsa Douglas very good about going up line and using her height to get the disc. And that's the first score from Cartagena to Kara Sieber. Very smooth offense from New York, no turnovers.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see how New York was able to adjust to the backhand force. Looked like they were anticipating flick with their initial pull play, but they did a really good job of taking advantage of those high release inside backhands to be able to reset the disc to that really tight handler pressure. They were able to then get that and then have easy continues or get the defense to overcommit and go back to the force side. So that was a really smooth offensive point that I think New York's got to feel really good about after that.
Yes. Now the New York is putting on the D-line, Becky Malinowski with the disc in her hand, and we get to see the Minnesota Strike O-line coming in. See Robin Fennick there. I think it looks like the usual O-line with Robin and Jareen Taylor handling with her. Jareen Taylor picks up the disc to Robin. New York trying to make the pull plate hard, and here goes Robin with the big throw. Oh, fairly tightly covered by Becky Malinowski. It was a good throw, but Caleb Blahnik couldn't quite get her hand around that.
Yeah, that's a matchup with a lot of size on both sides. I'm sure Robin's used to Blahnik having height on everybody, but Malinowski is also a very tall player, who's able to provide some good pressure there.
Oh, Aki Young with a very good catch.
Aki's known for her huge layouts, one of the trademarks of her game, both offensively and defensively.
Yes. Oh, here's the situation in reverse. And oh, that's the first break from New York Gridlock. Becky Malinowski with a big catch in the end zone.
Yeah, Malinowski is just been playing high-level Ultimate for so many years on Boston Brute Squad. Big games like this, I don't think, phase someone like Becky Malinowski. She's played in national championship games over the years and really able to just go and make a really good read, get to the high point of that disc, and bring it down strong.
Yes, I guess that's bookends for Becky.
Yeah, bookends for Becky, and
off to a fast start on the second point already. So now we get to see if Minnesota Strike, how they handle this early break.
Yeah, it looks like they're generally putting back out the same offensive line as they had the point before. I'm sure they're just out there saying, hey, this happens sometimes. We've been here before, breaks happen. That was quick, and we're just going to do our normal thing. We're just going to score the disc like we always do and just walk it right in there, no worries.
It did look like New York was trying to make whatever pull play plan that Strike had difficult to implement. And it was a good throw, but that made kind of Robin's throw the only choice really
Yeah, these
to make.
teams have watched a lot of film of each other, I'm sure. and
Yes.
know all the pull plays. Those coaches have been taking notes.
Becky on Robin. Nice break backhand. Emma Peasley over to Stephanie Wood. Back to Robin. Jareen Taylor. It didn't quite make it into the hands of Megan Randall. So now New York is hunting for another breakthrough. Oh, popped out, but went right back in her hands.
Good second of it there by
Yes.
Weissing.
Oh, that's a big shot. Yes, caught by Sam Harris.
Then if you need to, when those
Over to Renata Pepe. Inside to Anna Weisen. New York being patient with the disc. Give and go with Stasi. Being patient. Upline happening. And that's a second break for New York.
That was some really clinical D-line offense there by New York Gridlock.
Yes.
It's really impressive to have a defensive line that could just go out there, swing the disc super confidently. They didn't have to force anything. They didn't do any weird decisions. They were able to just play very clinical offense. And Gridlock's got to feel good about being able to both do that and the point before they're able to show their other way to play D-line offense of putting the disc deep, right?
Yes.
Feeding their tall receivers like Becky Malinowski. That versatility and ways to score, I think, is Gridlock's got to feel really good about that.
Yes. I feel like Gridlock is using the depth of their team well.
Yeah, Gridlock has a lot of really great players. They were able to draw on New York Bent, the women's team, as well as New York Exist, the mixed team in New York. And then they were also able to pull some star players from Boston Brute Squad. And they have some Colombian talent as well with
That's right.
Mosquera and Cartagena. So just like a lot of teams coming together, a lot of players who maybe haven't played together before, but really uniting a lot of the talent in the New York area, which is super cool to see them all come together.
Very much so. And from how they're playing, they've really figured each other out and found some good chemistry there. Minnesota now have to climb a tiny hill. Early days still, though, so I'm sure they're going to, they talked about some adjustments and they're going to go in. Some dancing on the sideline, staying positive.
Yeah, it looks like Minnesota has pretty much that same offensive unit they played for their first 2 0 points. Even after 2 breaks, the Minnesota coaching staff, they have a 6-0 team who's been really solid all season, and they trust that offense, which I think has got to make you feel good as a player, to be like, my coach trusts me to go back out there and score this point. And let's see if they can reward their coach's trust.
Yes, very much so. I mean, there's a lot of experience on that line, so I'm sure they're going to make some adjustments.
Absolutely. And New York's able to put out there's a fair amount of fresh players on this D-line. They're able to really cycle through, and that depth is going to probably come in key later.
Yes, Angela Zhu on the field now with Abby Chen, Nola Kim Meyer.
And it looks like New York is in a bit of a 3-3-1 junky zone to start. They've now are guarding a person more tightly, but it looks like they started off in a bit of a junk zone there with Angela Zhu in the middle, kind of quarterbacking the whole defense, pointing out where to go every time.
Looks like Steph Rupp is coming in for a fill type situation. There's no mark on the disc. So Kayla Blahnik taking her time, making sure that they keep possession of the disc. Finding an open Emma Peasley there in the middle. And Robin puts it out to, but is it inbounds? Yes, it is inbounds.
Wow, that's a It's a really great catch there by Blahnik. And it looks like Kowalski may have gotten a little bit of the disc as it came out. It looks like it came out a little bit differently than Robin
Yes.
initially planned. But, you know, trust your tall receivers, right? They'll,
Yes.
they'll always help you out there.
And she caught that high disc and towed the line, so that was quite a good catch.
Yeah, really impressive play out there. And you can see that Gridlock is changing up their matchups on Finnig a bit here to try and confuse her with Kowalski now on. The previous play was Malinowski. They're trying to give her a couple different looks here. But she's still able to get the completion there. Just throw into her tall receiver and saying,
Yes.
go get it.
They were very patient coming up to a half field.
Yeah, they did.
And then the shot.
They did a good job of not being freaked out by not being marked. Sometimes in those sorts of junk zones, if you're not marked, players can get a little antsy of like, but I still want to throw it quickly. But it was a really good job there of just staying calm, waiting for someone to come open, and just picking apart that
And
junk
now that they're
look.
on the board, we get to see the Minnesota D-line come out with Mextroff there. Carly Ekstrom. All right, let's see. New York. Ina Finley to Tulsa Douglas, to Gina Cartagena, to Amy Zhu. And she's there. She's there, and she catches it. A little kick spike from Amy Zhu, a.k.a. Doodle.
Yeah, Doodle with just a great catch there. It looks a little bit like it's going to be in doubt for a second. Like, will she be able to get there in time? Will the defender come around? But she's just really good at using her body, her positioning, making sure that the defender is sealed off and unable to make any play on this disc.
Yes.
And the fact that
There's the throw again. It looks like 2 defenders on her.
New York Gridlock goal scored.
Very nice catch.
yeah,
A
and
little hipst.
a great throw there by Cartagena. Great job trusting her receiver, putting it to a space where only Joe is going to get there.
Very fast hold from New York Gridlock here. Not letting Minnesota have even an imaginary chance at a break. So now we go back to the Minnesota strike. O-line looking for another smooth hold. New York looking to disrupt it. Let's see what kind of disruption they're going to come up with this time.
Yeah, New York out there with, looks like they've been running a couple different D-lines back with that D-line from the first point they had out. Really able to use their depth as Minnesota has pretty much the same offense out once again.
Right. Becky Malinowski pulling and then coming down first. That's quite a feat. Akina putting pressure.
Looks like an uncontested foul on the mark.
Yes, Emma Peasley staying calm. Calm reset into the middle. Oh, and Robin, unbeknownst to us, Emma Peasley had just gone deep. And Robin Fennig with the big throw.
That's great vision there by Robin. Just to have somebody able to come out of the handler space and leak deep, you're just not expecting that as a defender. But Robin, with just her great range and ability to throw the disc in all sorts of angles and shapes, is able to just throw a dime. Honestly, that was a great throw.
A complete dime ball, just falling right into her pockets, really.
Yeah, just perfectly in stride. Made it a very very unexciting catch, and that's what you like as a receiver when you're
Yes.
open, giving you a very unexciting catch.
Of course. That looked like that was set in advance, didn't it?
Yeah, it looks like after the stoppage, they probably made a little bit of eye contact and were like, you want to try this? It's always a fun thing to do out there with the handlers and your favorite
Yes.
cutters.
So nice to have fast handlers that can just go down there and catch it.
Definitely. So yeah, I think one of the big things here is we'll have to see is Strike's defense able to generate a turn. They have not gotten a
Yes.
turn yet. Gridlock has been able to really just clinically move down the field, and I think Strike is hoping here to create a little bit of chaos, see if they can disrupt this offense that's been
Yes.
so smooth.
Let's see what the strike D-line is going to provide for us. Tulsa to Gina. A little bit of a difficulty on the reset, but Tulsa Douglas gets it. Patient reset to Jenny de Jesus. Tulsa Douglas with a quick cut back to provide a an outlet. Emily Barrett coming through. Gina to Jenny. Tulsa Douglas going all the way over. And Gina de Jesus finds the end zone again.
Just another really clinical offensive point there for New York. You can really see that strike Taylor defenders, what they're doing is they're just getting really in the lane and they're forcing them upfield into that really small inside window for those resets. And they did have one situation where they got to a pretty high stall before de Jesus was able to come back and fill. But generally, New York's been able to pick that apart with those high release backhands where they're really just able to create just a lot of a leading throw out to space. And Jenny's cut there was a real ankle breaker. That was she's such an explosive athlete, and that's on Sarah Mextroth, the World Games player. She's able to just get that big separation for her thrower, and knows her thrower has that throw. So really nice job there. Great chemistry.
When you have to defend a player going under as going out, it's a tough job.
It's a very tough job, yeah. I personally don't want to have to guard Jenny de Jesus. She would definitely score on me.
So New York Gridlock with another smooth, no-turn offensive point. Going into defense, hunting for yet another break.
Yeah, we'll see if Strike is able to just continue to keep holding here. They have their past couple of points and be able to just keep getting their defense out there and see if their defense can maybe give New York a different look next time and create a break opportunity.
Mm-hmm. So the pull lands slightly out of bounds. Robin Fennig to bring it up. So for the viewers who don't know, when the observer is making those hand gestures, they're counting down because the players have to bring the disc in quickly. This looks like a pull play.
The very classic pull play of send the first cutter out deep and have the second one come under and fill to the force side against a side stack.
Yes.
Every team has that play.
Stephanie Wood coming back in again for the disc. She's making some nice wide cuts. Looking for Robin Fennig. Doesn't find her, so trying to get to Katie Godfrey, but throw didn't quite reach her. So now New York here with another break chance. Tracy Lum back. Handing, oh, just in and out of the hands of Nola Kim Mayer. Oh, heavy defensive pressure.
It looks like
from Abby Chang.
Injury may be called here or a foul.
Yes, I think she hit the ground very hard.
Yeah.
Injury. Substitution.
Hopefully Chang will be okay. It was just a little bit shaken up hitting the ground hard.
Yes.
It looks like Becky Malinowski will be coming in to put a little bit of height in this matchup, like we saw earlier in the first point of
yes.
the first
They're
Gridlock
almost the
point.
exact same height. Kayla Blahnik may be a smidge taller. Jealous of those heights for us short people.
Absolutely.
Emma Peasley again, resetting to Robin. I feel like Robin is always looking for that big throw when she holds the frisbee.
Yeah, she really
Emma
wants
Peasley. Oh, there's a very open person in the end zone. And it gets to Katie Godfrey in the end zone.
That was a really nice around throw there. The receiver was very open, but the force was backhand.
Yes.
And just a very confident step around the mark, put it out to space, knowing your receiver has lots of green space in front of them to go right onto it.
Yes. So there was a turn, but Minnesota Strike gets it back and holds, which is very important for them at this point in this game. I think they can't really allow for any more breaks in this quarter.
Yeah, and I feel like Minnesota has to think we have a really good D-line. We have some just phenomenal players on there. They're going to get pressure. They're going to get turns eventually when we figure out the right sauce. If we can just keep going out there and holding, we'll put our D-line out there and let them do their job.
I think one of the things about the heavy reset pressure is that it may not succeed first time nor the second time, but as the pressure builds and point after point, if you can keep it up, eventually it will produce turnovers. So
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if Strike mixes it up. Every 0 point so far for Gridlock, Strike has come down in a backhand force with forcing the resets upfield every time. And I'm interested to see if Strike tries a flick force, tries to guard the resets a little bit differently, see if they can confuse Gridlock once they've kind of been lulled into this is how they're playing defense.
right. Good point. Centers it to Gina. Gina looking for a reset over to Tulsa Douglas. Tulsa with the big fake. Reset to there. She had 3 resets there. Oh, athletic catch by Amy. Back to Gina. Oh, almost a defensive block by Emma Perrier, but
Great
New York
concentration to still catch that.
Great concentration.
You can see here maybe Gridlock heard me maybe Strike heard me. They went to that flick force, and this time they forced Gina to throw that inside high release flick, a much harder throw than that
They
inside
really did.
high
Well,
release backhand.
it looked like Tulsa Douglas was very strongly guarded, and Amy Barrett couldn't quite come through to provide another outlet. Oh, and they shoot it. Oh, a diving block by Amy Zero.
You can see that Gridlock knows the plan is to huck it to Mexstroth. Both Jenny DeJesus and Amy Zhou were both there with DeJesus over the top, ready to help, and Zhou underneath, and she's able to make a great play. You can tell she watches her film.
Yes. Big fake by Gina Cartagena. She's looking for a reset. Nina Finley comes through. Tulsa Douglas. There's a lot of heavy. Oh, she's. Jesus running deep, but not quite timed correctly. And now Barrett goes deep and makes the catch. Blahnik with some D. Emphatic spike.
I feel like maybe Strike figured something out though that D point. They were able to get their first turn, and I feel like there were some really good pressures on that point. Some
Yes.
really close calls. Maybe that flick force is just a bit harder to throw those insides on if they're going to be able to be forcing them upfield, forcing them to throw those inside flicks. Maybe they can get another one where they
Yes, I think like you were saying, the changing up is working. I think Strike should feel better about that point, getting some turns
and just a lot of
getting
great
some
pressure.
close turns. Even this shot, it was very tight D.
Absolutely.
Fantastic catch by Amy Barrett.
Yeah, if I'm Strike, I'm trying that again, but not falling in love with it, right? You got to keep trying.
Emily
different
Barrett. I'm
things.
sorry, I keep saying Amy Barrett. It's Emily Barrett. Very nice catch. So many good athletic catches out there.
Just a lot of great athletes out there, for sure.
Indeed. So now New York again hunting for another break chance. It looks like there was a change up in the puller. Lands a little bit out. Pulled by Sam Harris. Robin will pick it up, bring it to the center.
They come out once again in that side stack, and you can see Gridlock has a bit of a poached bracket set up with
Yes.
one person deep.
Covering the deep. Steph Rupp staying behind with Robin. Very patient. Offense. Kayla Blahnik shooting it just as I say it. Oh, in and out of the hands maybe. And now New York off to the races. Nice catch by Stasi. Angela Zhu making an upline cut, classic upline cut. To Sam Harris. to Zoe Hecht. Angela Zhu with another upline cut. Oh, and Robin Fennick comes in from behind and steals the disc.
Really smart play there from Robin.
Yes. Unfortunately, the long shot doesn't quite make it. It was a good mark. Good mark by Stasi.
Looks like there's 7 seconds left in the quarter, so if New York can complete one more pass, they can hold it, and we'll be able to finish out this possession without another chance for strike.
That's right. In the PUL games, the first 3 quarters, the team with possession when the clock runs out gets to maintain possession and take their time, however long it takes to score. This changes in the last quarter, where it's more of a when the clock stops, play ends.
And looks like a stall was called that is uncontested by Angela Zhu. That was some really good defense there. That just shut down every single option.
Stall called, which will bring the first quarter.
That was an unexpected end to the first quarter.
They had all the time in the world, but not when they're being marked, I guess.
Yes. Very, very good defense by Minnesota. They knew that they couldn't let another score go. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the first quarter with New York ahead, and we shall be right back.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
July from Nottingham, England. The World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Welcome back to the second quarter of the Strike Gridlock semifinals here at Carlini Stadium. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. All right, as we go into the second quarter, what are your thoughts, Sarah?
I think Gridlock did a really good job of coming out with just more intensity to start, right? They were able to get those 2 quick breaks on the first 2 Strike O points and really able to just create a little bit of separation between themselves and Strike. Strike did manage to kind of steady the ship a little bit, get their offense more in line, get them more in tune. They're able to get some good holds after that. And Strike was able to change up their defense a little bit towards the end of the first quarter as well, causing the first turn of the Gridlock O-line. They weren't able to punch in the break, but hopefully that signals that Strike is going to be able to get some turns, maybe get a couple breaks, keep this game close, keep it exciting, because both these teams are very talented. So
yes, they're going to have to change up something to make up for the deficit. Now that it's 6-3, coming in on offense, the PL rules that the team that pulled will receive.
I believe they take turns.
Right, they
receiving.
take turns. When it's going to overtime, they do another coin toss.
Yeah, and it'll also be interesting to see how the Strike offense manages to hold up over the course of the game. They righted the ship really well, but it is hot down on that turf. DC summers are no joke, and they've been really running primarily the same offensive unit every single time.
Yes.
And Gridlock has had 2 really strong D-lines, both of which I believe it'll provide a lot of pressure, and it'll be interesting to see how well they hold up. And then vice versa, will this New York Gridlock O-line continue to just be super clean, super good at getting their holds very quickly as they get more tired on this hot turf? They've run the exact same 7 people for all of their O points.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see this kind of war of attrition as the game goes on.
New York Gridlock also being able to get some rest since the D-line has been going in.
It's the best thing as an offensive player. I'm always like, I don't want to play. Just keep scoring D-line. I will stay on the sidelines. I'm happy to rest as long as we're winning. This is great.
All right, so New York coming up with a big pull from Becky Malinowski. It looks like we're going back to that original D-line from earlier in the game. Robin Fennig with the disc. The pull landed a little bit outside the playing field, so she gets to bring it to the middle. Now it looks like Becky is sitting in the lane there.
Yeah, looks like she's going to stay for a couple of stall counts. Just break up the pull play, make it so they're able to...
Which they were able to do. Disc does not find Danielle Byers. Throw from Steph Rupp. Not finding it. Now New York is calmly trying to take a break, but the throw goes a little bit errant, too high for Becky Malinowski. Strike gets another chance. Oh.
It's like an uncontested foul call there on the catch.
Energetic defense from Tracy Lum, but offense gets to keep the disc. Megan Randall. No, not Megan Randall. Goes back to Fennig. Looks like there's a pick call on the field.
That stoppage may have been good for Gridlock because it looked like Byers was about to just bust deep from that break side, and Fennig, I think, also saw that about to happen.
Yes.
So there was actually a foul call in the stack, I believe, from the hand signals that was uncontested.
It's a little bit of a discussion. Observers deciding. Looks like
a contested foul.
Foul contested, yes.
It's been fun to see Kowalski guarding Fennig so much this game since the two were teammates previously on DC Scandal. It's been fun to see that matchup. They had that matchup a lot in the previous time as well, so it's fun to see them good to go head-to-head again.
It's like we were saying earlier, the more they know each other, the more interesting the matchup can be.
Absolutely.
There's some Robin's looking to throw big. Throws the around backhand instead. Steph Rupp, now comes the big throw. Will it reach? Perfect throw into the hands of Danielle Byers. So it found Byers after all.
Yeah, she looked a bit earlier in the point, right after Byers reset it to her out of the stoppage, but it looked like the Gridlock defenders in the stack kind of jumped. They also thought Byers might go deep now, but that was a really good job by Robin of just being patient, waiting for the opening to happen, and that's a break hook that went, I don't know, 40 to 50 yards and hit a receiver in stride. How many players in the division have that kind of throw?
In a fairly strong crosswind, it's hard to see immediately watching but you can see from the flag in the corner of the field that is a fairly strong crosswind. Not that it seems to bother Robin Fennig at all, but
yeah, Robin comes from the Midwest, and they have a lot of wind out there, and she is not at all phased. She knows how to just weight the disc perfectly to have it not be affected almost at all. Watching Robin play, I'm like, is there wind? I know there is, but is there really?
I didn't notice, she says.
Is that Robin's, I think, third assist already this game, I believe?
She just gets the yardage and the assists. Nina Finley picks up for New York. Tulsa Douglas. It's a tight defense played on Gina, but she goes back and forth and gets it on the second cut. To Amy Barrett, to Tulsa. To Jenny, back to Emily Barrett. Gina comes through in the middle, thinks about throwing long. That's her favorite throw, it looks like, to Tulsa, is that high release flick inside, slight inside.
Yeah, it's a really difficult throw. As a marker, you aren't usually thinking about it as an option, but Gina just completes that at such a high percentage that you really have to be careful.
And finds Jenny just on the end zone line. to Tulsa Douglas. Back to Tulsa.
New York Gridlock goal
And
scored
New York
by
holds.
number 14, Tulsa.
It took them a little longer, but they
Assisted by number 00,
were very calm.
Time of the goal,
Yeah, there's just so much
8:58.
experience on that Gridlock offensive line that has just played together before in previous seasons and also just has played in so many big games of their careers. Tulsa Douglas has played in so many big games for Boston Brute Squad, the D3. She was one of the top players there, won the Donovan Award. Gina Cartagena's been the
Yes.
center offensive handler for the Colombian World Games team for years.
That's right.
And Amy Zhou, having played for years now on Boston Brute Squad as one of their key contributors as well. And then a bunch of players from New York Exist who had a great run at Nationals last year and I'm sure got a lot of great experience there as well. So
Yes.
just a lot of veteran players who have a lot of confidence, which is super important on an offensive line. So been really impressed so far with their ability to just hold the disc, make a smart decision every time, and make offense look clean.
Yes, definitely a lot of confidence, positive confidence. Now New York pulling Sam Harris with the pull. Makes it just before the halfway mark.
But she is now on that downwind sideline.
Yes.
Right on the sideline,
Yes.
which is nice.
Looks like it. Oh, it didn't quite land in. It was very close to the sideline there. But it looks like it didn't quite land in. So Robin brings it to the middle again. Danielle Byers started moving a little bit early. Emma Pesey with the disc looking for an outlet. Finds it in Doreen Taylor. Finds Robin. Oh, can't quite get it into Pesey's hands.
That crosswind, it really died at the end there, really
Yes,
being
it
pushed
did.
down by the wind.
Oh, but Gridlock can't continue.
Having the reverse issue of throwing into the wind and it popping up. You can see the wind's really starting to play a role in this game as well.
So now Strike gets another chance at the end zone. Doreen Taylor gets it wide to Blahnik. Oh, tries for a second try, but can't quite get there.
Great D there by Abby Chang.
Yes, great pressure to bring it wide. New York, another chance.
So they're calling a timeout here.
New York calls a timeout.
And in the PUL, you're able to do full substitutions on the timeout,
Right,
unlike in,
full or partial substitutions. New York might be thinking of bringing in their O-line. Another break here would be a very big deal.
Yeah, that'd be a bit of a backbreaker at this point if they were able to go up 8-4. That's very different than 7-5 here. And I'm sure
Yes.
Gridlock can feel the momentum, and they are probably like, let's try and really punch this one in. Let's see if we can make a lead that's just, mentally going to be really challenging to figure out a way to come back from. But it looks like they're probably not looking to substitute. It looks like most of the same players are still out there huddling with the coaches.
Oh, interesting.
On both sides, actually.
Interesting. Well, it is a pretty important moment in the game, so it's good for New York to take their time.
Yeah, and that's great trust by the Gridlock coaches and their D-line, that they know their D-line can also play really clinical offense and not tiring out their offense too much, right? Not having their offense have to go up there, maybe have a turn, have a more of a back and forth point there.
Yeah.
But looks like Strike did make at least one substitution, and I see Sarah Meckstroth is now in the field. I believe she was not originally on this point.
Agreed. So Stassi picks up for New York with Rachel Johnson on the mark.
Who's also traditionally, I believe, a defensive player for them.
Sam Harris with the disc, looking for a reset. Just a little bit too far for Brittany Kaplan. Rachel Johnson will pick up the disc for Strike. Meckstroth cutting from the back of the stack, but it goes to Robin. Big catch by Robin Fennig. Huna finds Adrian Baker to Peasley. Makes a bid. Lots of bids in this little point here. Very important for a strike to hold here and score.
Yeah, and great job by Fenig of just saving possession. It's such a luxury to have a handler who can make great bids like that and really bail you out as a thrower.
Oh, but the reset sinks in the wind, and even Robin can't save that one. So now Gridlock, a little bit stuck with the wind. Anna Wyson with the disc, resets. Stasi also looking for a reset. Oh! Is there going to be a call?
Looks like a foul was called there by the offensive player.
Abby Cheng, considering if it was a foul. Little discussion going on.
There's one.
Okay, let's see it again. Danielle Byers, big defensive move. It does look like there was some contact.
Yeah,
and the observers, looks like observers agree that yes, it was a foul.
Yeah, looks like their cleats got a little tied up there, and I think the throw is definitely catchable if she hadn't fallen. So I think that this seems like a good resolution to that play.
Reset to Stasi. Can't quite catch that one.
This is a really crucial moment here for sure.
Yes. Rachel Johnson with the disc. Gets it back to Robin. Brings it to Mix. Ooh, that was a tight window. Mix jumps it in. Nice around throw from Robin Fenig to Mexstroff. That's a powerful combination right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and you can see here, it looks like a lot of the Gridlock turns they're able to force there on the strike O-line was from a combination of the person marking the disc and the defender marking the reset. The person marking the disc being really hard no around, especially on that trap sideline, and the person guarding the reset being super hard no up line. That created multiple times they had to throw really difficult around throws against a tough mark, downwind that can die really quickly, and definitely caused some turns and caused some issues for Strike. But Strike was able to get the disc back multiple times and has two of their all-star players there, and Robin Fenig throwing to Sarah Mexstroff.
And that ended up being a very good substitution that Mex came in. And even that around backhand to Mex, it's kind of going against the wind. There, could easily pop up, but it went smoothly right, guided her right into the end zone. So that was a very nice throw by Robin Fenig.
Very veteran play by Fenig, putting it to a spot where Mex was going to be able to run all the way into the end zone. And Mex saw that very immediately and knew to adjust and be able to just run right in and catch in the end zone, avoiding needing to throw yet another throw against that really tough Gridlock defense. So great job.
Now Strike hunting for a break. They need to start fighting back just about now. Big throw is not coming. Looking for a reset to Nina Finley. Gina with a low catch. She's so good at catching those. Looks like there's a pick call in the stack.
Looks like a pick is called. No current resets here for Finley, so Tulsa and have to talk about who's going to come back and give her a look here to be able to keep this possession alive.
Can't quite get it to Tulsa, but Gina comes through. And then Amy Zhao. And I see Jenny is also ready for the wider reset. Over to Gina. She wants to get it to, the mark is trying to make the long shots hard, I think, for Gina Cartagena. More of a straight up mark. It seems like Jenny de Jesus coming in. Barrett. Tulsa Douglas to Barrett. Jenny cuts, clears, and then Emily Barrett comes in.
Assisted by number 14.
That was just another really just
Stronghold by New York. It's very hard to stop their offense.
yeah, the mental toughness of this unit. I think every time they can get to high stall situations, tough. There could just be tough looks out there, and just every time they always seem up to the task. Their confidence is great. Yina's just able to break every mark in every which way. She had some great around flicks, some great inside backhands. Just does a great job of setting her mark up to be in the wrong position for what she wants to do, and then quickly throwing what she wants.
Yes.
Just textbook offensive handler.
Yes, I do feel like her fakes are so good that the mark has no choice but to follow it, and then she makes a good throw. So it's a very much textbook for all my youth players out there. Watch her and learn.
She also does a great job using her fakes to communicate with her cutters downfield. I've
Yes.
seen a lot of times this game that she's thrown a fake to say, not there, go somewhere else. And then that's opened up space for the next cutter to come in and have a great completion right off of that. And just her way to just really quarterback that offense, really just communicate with her fakes, communicate with her eyes, and just
You can see her
them in a good
communicating when she's
position.
at the top of the stack as well to the rest of the stack about what's going to happen.
yeah, a real luxury to have her on an offensive line.
Strike. Looking for a clean hold again. Danielle Byers. Off to Robin. Megan Randall. Back to Robin Fennig. It looks like it may have been a foul call on the throw.
And looks like it was uncontested. That's a really hard throw to block cleanly because you really have to hit Robin's hand before you can get to the frisbee, the way
Yes.
she's throwing that.
Steph Rupp over to. Wait, was that Robin again? That was Robin
Oh, yeah,
again.
it was
Yes,
Robin
of
again.
course.
Another great throw there by Robin. What I really liked about that throw she had was that she's really shown her range as a thrower, right? She's had some great backhand bombs, and this flick throw, she does a really good job of just understanding the matchup, right? She sees she has a
Yep.
tall receiver who's deep, and she knows I need to put it up high, put it on a platter, and let my great athlete, let my tall receiver just go up there and get the disc. Really high game IQ there by Robin, knowing the exact type of throw to make sure that only her receiver had a play on that disc.
We're going to get to see the throw again.
You see
Oh,
a lot
Robin
of Robin's,
highlights,
a
yeah.
lot of Robin's great throws
Yes.
today. You can see all of these great hucks she's
It
had.
just seems like the moment she has it, you cannot let your person be deeper than you. Because she sees it and she can make it happen.
Yeah, and it just also makes the rest of the offense work really well, right? If every time Robin gets the disc you were terrified that Robin is going to throw a huge huck.
Yes.
You have to adjust the way you're playing. You have to check in with Robin. You need to be looking at where your defender, your offensive player is. It just affects the entire way you play defense, having someone like her on the field to really stretch it out. And
Yes. Kayla Blahnik doing a very good job with Danielle Byers and being the recipient of those amazing throws. Emily Barrett going long. Gina chooses to holster. Oh, there's a little bit of a collision on the field.
one thing that's been really impressive about this Gridlock offense is that they've been able to score really efficiently without throwing hucks. They'll throw as many throws as they need to do, and they can just confidently reset the disc, make a good decision every single time, and there's no urgency that feels like they're in any way out of control, and that's been really impressive.
Yes. Very much agree. Reset chance. Reset sequence going well. Tulsa Douglas to Gina. Oh, it's a little bit of a Gina-like throw there from Tulsa.
Yeah, those high release
Now,
inside.
Emily Barrett looking for reset. To Nina Finley. To Tulsa Douglas. She's such a danger downfield as well. She just continues her cuts.
Goal scored
Yeah, both Tulsa and Yena have done a really good job this game of often starting off downfield as initiation cutters or continuing their cuts downfield and really changing depths, right? That makes it really hard as a handler defender to know where are they going to go next, what are they going to do. They're such a big threat with the disc, you don't want them to get it near you and near the disc, and you don't want them to touch it. But when they start to go upfield like that, they're great athletes and they're able to make really impressive plays. And I really feel like one of the big stories so far for this Gridlock offense has just been that confidence in hitting these inside shots back to back, just consistently hitting these shots these are hard throws. These are hard throws to hit every single time, especially in the wind like we have today, and just consistently hitting those, consistently.
I like that we got to see a reverse of Tulsa to Gina, a little high flick, break, force throw, like right back at you kind of thing. Those little breaks in the middle of a short throws like that can open up so many angles from there.
Absolutely. I wonder if the strike D-line will think about changing the way they're playing defense a little bit. Maybe instead of forcing them upfield, allowing that inside shot that's really been giving them trouble, maybe they'll say, okay, I see you can throw that, but can you swing the disc a bunch of times? And taking more of a step off and making them swing it more laterally.
Yes, because they haven't been able to get a break from this Gridlock offense that's been playing so well so far. Stephanie Wood catches a yard gainer in the middle. Over to Green Taylor. Nice around to Robin Fenig. Oh, a point block. So a point block on the reset.
It
looks like it was a timeout called from New York.
That was a really great point block there by
Stasi.
By Stasi,
yes.
Yeah. Robin, as we've hyped her up a lot this game, but she's a great thrower, and to be able to step around on that mark and really get your hand there, I think as players continue to mark up against each other over the course of the game, sometimes you kind of learn their release points, and it kind of felt like there Stasi had learned this is the height that Robin usually releases this around flick at, and she was able to get her hand there in time to just stuff it, and that was a really big play. That's a super hard play to make, so we'll see if Gridlock can take advantage.
Yes. It's a really important thing when you know as a mark that the thrower doesn't have good options downfield and is looking for reset, to be able to then adjust your mark to make that reset hard.
Yeah, absolutely. And
especially hard against a great player like Robin.
Absolutely. And yeah, Gridlock is continuing to find success with that really hard no around and that not allowing any upline cuts to happen. And it resulted in some throwing turns earlier, but this time she got the active turn, got the point block.
So many smart defenders out there. It's very impressive.
Absolutely. Both lines that Gridlock has put out on defense is just stock full of smart, athletic defenders who have just made life hard for the strike team so far in this first half. So
now Tulsa Douglas with the disc to Gina, back and forth. They're playing a little bit of give and go. Nina Finley. Very patient offense. Doesn't matter if it's forward or backward.
Looks like they're running a bit of a dominator set here. Those three handlers touching it a lot. That stack's really far away right now, just letting those three super experienced handlers go to work, saying, we trust you.
Work it down here, and then we'll run for you.
Yeah, then we'll get our goals.
I think there was a little bit of a pick call, perhaps. They were trying to work in very tight corners there. They're trying to decide where they get to come in and what the stall might be. Looks like Emma Peasley's on Gina. Trying to play a very tight cover, make those resets hard. Robin Fenig on Nina Finley. Tulsa Douglas gets the disc.
I believe they're running some of this dominator to just try and burn clock here. You can see there's only 22 seconds left, and if they keep possession, then strike will knock in their chance to score this half. It looks like they're trying to just really possess the disc, run out this clock, and be the only one who gets to score.
Which is really smart. Kelly Poletto tightly covering Tulsa Douglas, but it's really hard when you have both ways and really good throwers. Throw pops up, but Emily Barrett able to secure it. Oh, Kelly Poletto. Oh, no, not Kelly Poletto. I'm sorry about that. Emma Peasley with a no-look. It was almost a no-look block, anticipating where the disc was going to come.
Yeah, it was big that Strike was able to go and get that D there to prevent New York Gridlock from going up 10-6. But really smart by Gridlock, just possessing the disc, making sure there was no chance that the game could be 9-7, securing themselves a minimum of a 3-point lead going into half with that really nice handler-dominator set, just burning clock, keeping possession alive. Just impressive job by those New York Gridlock handlers. I think have been a really big story so far in this first half to me.
Kelly Poletto with a very important block, though, because one more point for New York would have been devastating for Strike.
Absolutely agreed. And after those first two breaks on Strike's first 2 0 points, after that, we've just had holds all the rest of this game. It's a 3-point differential, and that's really just due to the fact that Gridlock got those 2 breaks, and they were able to start on offense in the first quarter, I believe, and then just were able to keep the score even after that. So great job by Gridlock of just continuing to hold this lead, but good job of Strike settling back in, right? It was 3-0, and now it's 6-9, so 6-6 ever since.
It looks like my swing vote kids are out there on the field.
So let's just get Eileen very quickly. So let's just do that. Let's just do that quickly, so that we can do this for live on.
Now we go. Okay, and now we go into halftime. New York leading Strike 9-6. We will be right back.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
July from Nottingham, England. The World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Now we have a sideline interview with a Strike coach by Laura Osterland.
Laura, go. Hang on just a second. Stay centered up on the coach. Focus on first. Right there. That's fine. You don't have to be so tight. Be a little bit wider.
But just not having the wetness and the weather, although now it's getting a little windy. So I think that's been actually helping us. And also, you know, you're in the Midwest, it doesn't get this cold.
And then finally, are there any players who have been stepping up the first half?
I'm really enjoying watching Ina and Tulsa work together. I mean, it's what I've loved this entire time. And I think on defense, Lisa Kowalski, has been taking tough matchups and doing amazing.
All right, and there you have it. Back to you at the booth.
Okay, thank you, Eileen Murray, New York Gridlock coach. This will bring us into break. We will be right back.
Strike has clearly risen to the top of the Midwestern division. We're starting to really hit our stride, I think.
Run through D by Sarah Monshine.
That's a great throw. Fire's able to just coast out. It's put on a platter for her.
Every lesson that we've learned along the way, put it together and just be the best we can be.
Atlantic has the height here, and she's able to come down with it.
Big under, Dreen streaking towards that open side, and the cartwheel spike. We have Raisin shooting to Jane Cook, just sitting out there, and there we have it.
But Steph Wood with the quick shot across the top, no other star power needed. Helm coming through with the block on the last throw.
D-line Helm, that's what we like to see. Helm's been huge in some big moments for Strike over the past couple of games. And we have an incredible play. Dreen looking for Fennig on the give and go. Bounces off of Fennig's hands during the bid, and Katie Godfrey is able to clean it up. Another great grab here from Fennig, and then dime hammer to the back corner. Wood able to just run onto it. Seems like Fennig has inspired a new generation of Strike hammer throwers in this game.
Oh, but
and that's an Emma Peasley hand block, everybody. Peasley says no.
Out to Matamore, and she takes a big shot. It's intended for number 44, Anastasia Foster, but Emma Poyer is there with the big D. Hear those stands rumble. The fans are feeling it.
Oh, great layout D from Sadie running to get it back.
Right.
Oh, great layout from Sarah Monshine. Amazing grab.
And shooting it, Baker's there. Randall
with the D.
Coming in for the D. A great layout D from Robin Fennig.
The Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
Go back to that shot. We'll go back to that shot. And move forward. And take forward. Forward is live.
Welcome back to the second quarter of the Strike Gridlock semifinals here at Carlini Stadium. Sarah, what are you expecting to see in this second half?
So this second half, what I'm expecting to see and hoping to see is Strike try a few more defensive looks here, right? That Gridlock offense has been just clinical. I think they've only had 2 total turns, one of which was after time expired in the second quarter. And they've really just been able to pick apart everything Strike has done so far. And as I say, try something new. Having Robin pull and come over D-line, that's something new.
That is something new. Strike having to come on defense, start the second half on defense. New York with its usual line. Oh, and a very nice catch by Amy Zhu. Emily Barrett with the disc. Resets to Gina. A round throw to Tulsa Douglas. Looks like there's a lot of stack discipline. And a break throw to Amy Zhu.
Great point there by
Yes.
Amy.
It was another dominator-like situation with the handlers and the stack staying very disciplined, looking for that one opportunity.
Yeah, and just a great catch there. A lot of plays that she makes, they look like highlights, and they're very cool catches, but they're
Here's the
also
replay
just
on that catch.
a lot of intelligence there, right? You can see
Yes.
she slows up, she puts her body in a position where the defender would have to go through her to be able to get to the disc first. So just a lot of intelligence there, as well as some insanely long
Yes.
arms that are
I mean, it looked
really
like
helpful.
the defender had position, and then Amy just used her body to get back and athletically catch the disc. And then a nice little sliding catch on Gina's inside flick.
Yeah, and that was a little bit different there by the Gridlock offense, right? They took a deep shot that they don't typically have to take or haven't been taking as often so far in this game. I wonder if it's slightly the way that Strike was playing them, trying to maybe say, okay, we're struggling to really continue in this underspace, all your clean resets. Let's make you go deep a little bit, see what you can do. And so far, Jo was up to the task.
Yes. New York with a good pull onto the sideline. A very low throw from Katie Godfrey. Finds Stephanie Wood. Onto Danielle Byers. Oh, but the connection to Megan Randall doesn't quite make it. So now New York with another break chance. Big shot. Finding, a great layout grab.
I believe that was Nikki Hare.
Nikki Hare? Yes.
Yeah, Nikki Hare with a great catch there.
That was a
Gridlock goal scored by number 88, Nikki Hare.
yes. I believe it was Sydney Harris with a throw. Oh, we're gonna get a replay here. Nice throw, arcing throw, securing the disc, then laying out.
A little kick spike to
The little
finish
kick
it
spike
off.
to celebrate. That was worth celebration.
Yeah, really great job keeping concentration, keeping the disc all the way through ground contact, able to finish off that play. And honestly, that's the most kind of fun offense to play as a D-liner, right? Get it and go throw a big huck to your fast receivers and let them go get it for you. So,
All right, that one hurts for Minnesota Strike.
yeah, too quick.
New York extend its lead.
It feels very reminiscent to the start of the game, right? Start of the game, Gridlock comes out with a clean hold, gets a break immediately, and then in the first half they got a second break, so they're able to do that again. But it feels like the script kind of repeating itself. Outside of these starts, the first and third quarters, the game has been completely even.
Yes.
But just those very beginning points of these first and third quarters have really been where Gridlock has been able to shine so far.
You're so right. There's a little bit of a sense of deja vu here. Let's see if Minnesota Strike can change it up. Right the ship a little bit. Oh, that's a very difficult reset. But Steph Rupp.
Looks like an very quickly uncontested foul there by
Sam Harris. Sam Harris on Sarah Mextroff. Okay, let's see. Let's see the replay again.
Yeah, great effort there by Harris to get back into the play. It looked like it was a really easy catch throw at Mextroff, and she was able to put a little pressure on the catch, but maybe a little too much.
Oh, a little stutter step by Mextroff. Robin Fennig stays with her and finds her in the end zone.
And you can see one change they've made here after the first quarter, after getting broken for the first time. They just put the same O-line out there again. This time they're like, let's put our World Games player out there. Let's let her go to work. And she certainly did, right, with that. Well, it wasn't a catch, but she was fouled. So, she likely would have otherwise caught the goal, going and playing give-go with Robin to score the goal there. Some fancy footwork.
Looks like Robin Fennig is finally taking a rest.
Finally taking a rest, finally throwing a goal that wasn't a huck, it looks like, as well.
All right. What are the coaches saying down there, do you think, Sarah?
To the strike offense, I think they're saying you did a great job of just holding a bunch of times in a row, right? You had a really good stretch of strong offense. We know you're capable of that. I promise you we're going to put out good looks with their defense. We're going to figure out a way to get them out there to be able to go get some breaks, and you just got to trust them. And then out to the D-line, they're saying, hey, our offense is doing good. They're holding their own. They're getting their holds. They're doing their job. You all are great players. I believe in you. You can put some pressure on. You can get a turn. You can put a little fear into this Gridlock offense.
Finley catches the pull. Tulsa Douglas with the around. Emily Barrett in the middle. New York reset is working well. You can see it's a little bit windy. Tulsa secures it. Oh, can't quite take your hand on it. I think the wind affected that disc a little bit.
And the defense did a great job, but even though they weren't able to, I don't think, touch it, they've really made it so the offense had to lose vision of the disc and wasn't able to quite catch that. So
yes.
This is only the second break opportunity of the game for Strike. We'll see if they can take advantage.
Yes. Jane Koch with the disc. Rachel Johnson. I know she has a big forehand.
Yeah, has a great flick hook. You can tell the Gridlock defense is kind of bracing a little bit whenever she gets it.
Yes. They're being very cautious with the disc. They know that, can't quite. Sims can't quite hold on to it. Let's see if Strike can get it back again. Finley, the disc. Oh, and a good layout bid, but Tulsa Douglas secures the disc.
And another hold there by the Gridlock offense. They've stayed perfect this game. They've not gotten broken yet. A little bit of cracks though, right? They forced a turn. You gotta, as Strike, feel okay. We forced a turn. If we could force a couple more of those, right? If we can get our D-line's offense to kind of really challenge, maybe we can get a break or two.
Yes, the D-line had to work it all the way up from the end zone line, so that was a long slug, which they couldn't quite make this time. But if they can keep getting the Ds and turnovers, that's where it starts. So.
And Gridlock has played exactly 7 players on offense this game, I'm pretty sure. So eventually they'll get tired. If you can force a couple more turns, if you can put a little more pressure on, at some point you got to think, okay, it's hot down there. They're going to get a little tired. Maybe they'll make a couple mistakes. We can get a little momentum. There's one really strict O-line they've played all game, and maybe we can, play
disrupt
our D-lines out there.
Yeah. All right, Becky Malinowski back on the pull. This one gets much deeper, carried by the wind, centering to Robin Fennig. Nice flick by Doreen Taylor. Oh, and the reset is blocked by Becky Malinowski, but the throw is a little bit short.
Yeah, great block there by Becky. Really using her length, getting around. Just really good point block there, and always
Yes.
tempting to go feed her when she's cutting deep after that.
But
reward her.
Emma Peasley got her back by getting the D. So Jareen Taylor. Oh, Becky tries to disrupt Robin Fennig. That was a good switch on their part. And Robin finds Emma Peasley.
Really visionary throw there over the top.
Yes. It's like the wind stops when she throws.
Maybe it does. We don't know from up here. Looks like she's thinking about something big.
Yes, she's looking for it. Oh, it looks like their feet tangled. And Abby Cheng is saying no contest.
I believe earlier this game was the same two players, but reverse offense and defense, feet got tangled for a very similar foul call.
That was the replay.
Looks like there was an injury called as well on that fall, and Joe's going to come in and mark.
Okay. Blenick gets it on the end zone line. Emma Peasley running to the front cone. Very important hold for Minnesota Strike.
Yeah, good composure there. Sometimes when you pick up the disc there on that end zone line and the defense is set, it can be hard to figure out what to do next. And it was just a really good job by Blonick of just being patient and Pleasant's just going. And by Pleasley just going and just going straight to that front cone saying, beat me there.
Yes. Emma Peasley's certainly been contributing to this game. Now, if they can use this momentum to finally get their break.
Yeah, I would really love to see them try some sort of more zony, junky look. You've seen Gridlock come down multiple times now in a row off the pull in a bit of like a 3-3-1 junk or a bit of a handler sag to start really breaking up that pull play, kind of causing a little bit of confusion before Strike is really able to get into their offense. And it's definitely thrown off the rhythm somewhat. I would like to see Strike maybe try something similar. Try some sort of zone. It's a crosswind, right? Trap him on the sideline, run some sort of junk look.
Yep.
Just be able to just make life a little harder on Gridlock. Don't let him get comfortable.
Yeah, at least disrupt that the dominator look that the handlers are doing. Oh, maybe they are.
Yeah, usually when you have that kind of pull, it's like you were trying to trap it there.
Yes, trap them on the low side where the wind is blowing towards.
And it looks like they're in a bit of a junky look here.
They heard you, Sarah. Gina to Tulsa. Back to Gina. To Nina. And that is Kara Sieber. To Jenny. To Tulsa. Oh, she's so tall. A round throw to Jenny, and it's a score.
Well,
it was a good idea. It was a good idea, but hard to stop when and some of the catches they had to make really good catches.
Yeah, you always got to try something new. You know, never lose a game where you don't throw a backhand flick and at least one zone look. I'm glad that they tried something new there.
Okay, let's see that nice around Tulsa with the great save on that throw. It popped up a little bit. Any other handler, it would have been a turnover.
Certainly would have been if it was a throw to me.
And she calmly throws you around to a bursting Jenny De Jesus.
That was a great cut by De Jesus. And even earlier at that point, too, I feel like there's been a bunch of times this Gridlock offense, their handlers, of course, have been super patient and done a great job, but there are times that it's gotten a little bit stagnant, right? They've been trying to find something. And De Jesus always seems to be there, right?
Yes.
Whenever they need, like, that release valve, someone coming from downfield to come back and just give them a chance to reset the disc, reset the stall count, reorganize. I think there have been at least 3 or 4 times this game De Jesus has played that role, which is really pivotal.
She comes all the way back to help and then goes all the way back down again to score.
Yeah, she does it all.
All over the place. Jordan Taylor looking for a reset. to Stephanie Wood coming in. Trying to find Randall, but can't quite get it to her. Luisa Neves. Sam Harris. Oh, and it's
Danielle Byers with a huge foot block.
Huge foot block.
Strike definitely needed a play like that. Maybe that can help them get a little energized here.
Yes.
Maybe Robin will reward her with a big huck. Just thought about it.
Reset to Katie Godfrey. Back to Robin Fennig. Looking for a big throw. And Kayla Blahnik is up for the task. She's there for her. Back to Robin. Looking for another big throw.
Great job by Kowalski there, jumping over on the mark, keeping that big backhand from going up to Byers.
Blahnik comes back. And now it's Blahnik with the big throw. Oh, but there's New York block by, is that Nikki Hare?
Yeah, I believe
Zoe
that-
Hecht.
oh.
Zoe Hecht. Zoe Hecht with a big block. Luisa Neves to pick up the disc. Oh, looks like there's a timeout called.
Feels like Gridlock can maybe, they're a bit like a shark here, right? They can smell a little bit of blood in the water. They really want to put it on a commanding lead. If they get up to 14-8 towards the end of the third quarter, they feel really good about that.
Yes,
So they're like, you know what?
that will be a very tough hill to climb.
Yeah, it looks like they're about to put on that that offensive unit we've just been talking about all game. I've
Yes.
been just so impressed with them, top to bottom. The handlers, of course, have done a great job we talked about, but their cutters done a great job of creating space, creating continues for them. Just the chemistry they all seem to have together is, I mean, this is one of the most impressive, so far, not to jinx them, one of the most impressive offensive performances I've seen a team have this season, honestly.
Very true, because they have to work the entire way up the field. So this is a very good time for that excellent O-line to come in. This could be a very much an important point in determining the result. Okay, let's see a replay of that foot block again.
Great job by
Super
Byers
good,
there.
super good concentration. And then here it floated just enough for Zoe Hecht to come in and get the block.
And that's a great hustle there by Zoe Hecht, right? Like, Wood had some real steps on her there, and she was able to just go and say, I'm not going to give up on this play. I'm going to keep running. And she was able to make a really good play on that disc. Some players would have just given up at that moment, but she said, no, I'm going to get this. We'll sit there in a three-person
Tulsa
cup.
Douglas.
The first time we've seen this played by Strike.
Yes. Strike says you have to go all the way up the field. But again, New York able to find those little spaces. It's getting high count, but able to escape. Nina Finley provides an escape valve. Oh, and I think that's Koch with the block.
Huge layout block there. But I felt like the pressure's really building that whole point. They were really able to put some pressure, and it just culminated in that block.
Jane Koch, always a highlight producing player for Strike. Nextroff comes back to Jane again, going up line.
And Gridlock continues with that really effective defense that I just don't think Strike has fully solved yet. Super hard no around mark, taking away that upfield strike cut, and just forcing a lot of really tricky turns back to back.
There's a stoppage here. Is it another timeout?
I think.
Could it be that Minnesota had called a timeout before the turnover?
Maybe their coach knows them well.
If that's the case, according to PUL rules, that the turnover becomes null and it goes back to Strike. But it's a bit hard to tell from here.
Minnesota Strike. Timeout called
Okay.
before the turnover.
Okay, so that was a good move by the Minnesota coach.
Yeah.
In the PUL, the timeout can be called by the player with the disc or also by the coach or an assigned sideline person. Okay. So in this case, the turnover becomes null as the timeout was acknowledged by the observer before the turnover.
Great block there. Great job of taking that inside lane to be able to get the block safely. If you're trying to get layout Ds, a great job is taking that inside lane where you're going to be able to get to the disc first. You're not going to hit the player in any way that's going to be dangerous, and you can generate a turn like that. So really textbook defense there.
And Minnesota bringing in Robin Fenig to bolster their firepower.
Yeah, this is the same point, I believe, as that original timeout. So they start off with their offense, put in their defense, have their offense back out. New York's done the same with their defense to offense back to their D-line.
Emma Peasley immediately takes off, but Robin Fenig holsters for now. Now looking for a reset. Katie Godfrey is able to come back all the way over to Robin, and now she unleashes it. But Peasley can't quite get to it this time.
Yeah, just a little bit too far there, but that's a look that's been working for them all game. Robin bombing big backhand hucks to their fast receivers, so it seems like a good decision. Just wasn't quite able to get there, but that's been their offense all game, and it's worked well for them.
Robin poaching a little bit in the lane. Luis Neves. Oh, Robin with very good pressure on the disc, but big shot downfield to Nola Kim.
From Kowalski to Sam Harris, it looks
yes.
like. Great job there by Kowalski of not just trying to throw it into the end zone no matter what, right? Understanding there's wind. I don't need to put the disc up to however the wind can play games with it. Let's get 100% completion, hit my receiver in field, in stride, and get a good yardage gainer and keep on playing. That was a good veteran move there by Kowalski.
And it looks like it's Zoe Heck with the disc. Right on, knocking on the doorsteps. Luisa Neves trying to get open for a reset. Now Neves with the disc, still very patient offense. And New York is able to score.
That was a long point, but that was originally an O point there by Strike, so that is another break there for Gridlock. And
yes.
As much as we've sung the praises of the Gridlock's offensive line's patience, that was some really impressive patience there by the D-line as well.
Yes.
Gridlock.
Okay, let's see the long throw that opened up by Lisa Kowalski. And then from here, they became very patient, waiting for the opening.
Yeah, really textbook offense there by their D-line as well. Gridlock just looking like a really complete team today, top to bottom. Their depth has really shown. Both their D-lines have been fierce. They've both gotten breaks. They've both created a lot of turns and pressure and then played patient offense or stretched deep with hucks. It's been really impressive by just the range of ways that Gridlock has been able to score the disc, get turns, do a bit of everything. It's been a really great performance by them so far.
And you can tell they're feeling good. There's lots of smiles.
Absolutely. And, you know, as their offense has never gotten broken, it creates, you know, a lot of confidence for everybody, right? Like, we can just go out there and play hard. I don't need to push it. I don't need to try anything too hard because, like, we're just going to hold, right? We're going to get our holds, and we're just going to let our D-line go back out there and let them go to work. And that trust has been great.
You can feel that there is a little bit of momentum going right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strike. Oh. I think there's going to be a call there. Throw from Peasley to Mextroff.
It looks like Malinowski doesn't necessarily think that she fouled her as they have this discussion about what really happened there.
It looked like there was a little bit of a shoulder-to-shoulder bump. Let's see what the observer has to say. That there was a foul, I think. That's what the observer ruling.
Yeah. That was good discussion there. Good quick resolution.
And Mex immediately shoots it. And it's going to be a score by Stephanie Wood.
Great throw there by Mex. She did a really good job of doing that big outside in flick, that fade just a little bit to the break side, right? Really meant that Aki Young was not able to have a good play on that as she was on the force side and a little bit under. She went to a place where Steph Wood was going to be able to be the only person to get a hand on that disc. And just a really nice veteran throw there, and a good read by the receiver. Good job of bodying, going up strong with the left hand so that she could use her whole width of her body and her right shoulder to really create some separation between herself and the defense.
Yes.
Textbook huck, textbook reception.
Great timing on the cut too. Is the moment the play went in, she was providing a good target for Mexdorf.
I would bet they made some eyes at each other after that stoppage. They were like, "You wanna? I wanna. You wanna?" It looks like Strike is about to bring Fenig over again. See if they can get a big pull here from Fenig. See if they can get that elusive first break of the game here for that Strike D line and maybe create a little bit of fear, a little bit of doubt in that Gridlock offense.
They're gonna have to get a turn quickly.
Yeah, 56 seconds left. I wouldn't be surprised if Gridlock decides to go in some sort of dominator set, hold the disc as long as they can, prevent Strike from getting the chance.
Oh, and Tulsa Douglas does a very good job of reading that disc. Oh, but just as I said that, there is a turn. I think the throw went a little bit lower than Tulsa Douglas wanted, and it hit someone in the stack, it looked like.
Yeah, it's hard to get it up over that stack, and really good recognition by the defender there to get a hand on it.
Oh! Just as I said that, there's another. Emma Beasley can't quite get her hand around that disc. Oh, Emma Pryor, rather. Can't quite get her hand on the disc, and so there's a turn. And now New York will get to keep possession of this disc for this quarter. Looks like there might be a call on the around throw.
Yeah, uncontested foul there by Mexdorf.
Okay.
On the Jo throw. And Gridlock did a good job there of making sure, once again, they will not get broken, right? The time is up. It's either Gridlock scores or the quarter's over, and that's all that can happen here. So secure themselves at least a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter, but with some good veteran presence of mind there.
Oh, it looks like foul was retracted. And so the third quarter is ending with Gridlock 14, Minnesota Strike 9.
And that's some good spirit there by Jo, saying, you know what, actually I've thought about it a bit more, and I don't think you did foul me. Really good spirit there.
So that brings us to the end of the third quarter, with Minnesota still chasing the elusive break. We're going to take a break now and come back for the final quarter of this semifinal game.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
July from Nottingham, England. The World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Welcome back to the second quarter of the Strike Gridlock semifinals here at Carlini Stadium. This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. As we go into the final quarter, Sarah, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think Strike has played a really good game so far, but Gridlock has just been lights out, it feels like. Their O-line, I believe, only has 4 turns, and 2 of which were after time had already expired. So they've only given 2 total break chances to Strike's D-line to be able to come in and get a break on them, and that's really impressive. That's really hard to do. It's gusty wind out there. Strike has some great defenders, some smart coaches. Like, they're no slouch, and the ability of Gridlock to just get hold after hold in a clinical manner, I think, has just really been the story of this game so far.
Strike does start on offense here. Let's see if they can gather some momentum and to catch up a little bit to Gridlock in this final quarter.
There's still time left, right?
There
Strike
is.
just needs to get a hold here and then put that D-line out there and see if they can get some good momentum going, see if they can get on a bit of a break train and really make this game close and exciting at the end.
Mm-hmm. So similar O-line for Minnesota Strike. Lanek comes back.
Okay.
Runs deep, comes back. Throws to Fennig, up line. Daniel Byers, back to Fennig. Looks like that's... Yes.
Huge catch there by Fennig.
If she doesn't throw it, she's going to catch it.
Yeah, it looked like that was going to be an easy block there for Angela Zhu. It seemed like she was in great position there, and Robin said, nah, this disc is mine. Just really climbs the ladder there.
This is the kind of start to the quarter that Minnesota needs.
Yeah, and you can see Fennig trying to get some energy into this team, right?
Yes.
Huge catch, huge spike, jumping up and down,
You're
saying,
get to see it again?
It's not over.
Yeah, Angela Zhu was right there, but jumped a little bit too soon to cover Fennig.
Yeah, and Fennig does a good job of keeping concentration, knowing I have the right read, trusting herself that she was going to get to the spot at the right time, not being scared and going up early with Zhu as many the players do. Fennig used her veteran skills to just say, nope, it's going to be here, and I know it.
Yes.
You can see them talking, laughing about on the sideline of Zhu probably saying, you
as,
got the best
as
of me this
short
time.
people, we understand that we have to attack first.
Yeah, gotta trick 'em
which
into it.
Angela did, but it's hard to cover a person like Robin Fennig in the end zone.
Playing for so many years and just a great catch there. Let's see if they can use some of that momentum, use some of that excitement after that really fun catch to, create a turn here, create an opportunity.
Oh, Gina with a very good catch. Oh, another low throw, but Amy Sue saves it from the turf. On to Emily Barrett. These low catches have been hard, but they just do it so well. And immediately, Emily Barrett to Jesus. That was another quick offensive point there for Gridlock.
Yeah, she sure does have a nose for the end zone there. Just a great finisher, I think, as some coaches call players. She's able to finish off plays, score those goals.
Seems like she's always there. But that included some very good catches from this one, from Gina, and then this one from Amy Zhu.
Yeah, and another very similar isolation start for Gridlock. Often they're sending it up to Tulsa and they're putting Cartagena out in a lot of space and letting her really go to work. And when the force is away from the stack, she's able to go get separation to the force side. But there, she trusts that Tulsa has that around break and is able to go and make a really wide cut to open up the space for that break and dig that out. That was dying quickly into the wind. I think that's the third or fourth time that exact thing has happened off of a pull.
Yeah.
That chemistry the two of them have is really impressive.
Tasty Southern barbecue.
So New York extending its lead again. New York hasn't had to even call up Mosquera.
Yeah, I believe she was coming off of an injury and has not played a point yet today, so hopefully she's doing okay.
Yep. I think if they can rest her, they would prefer to rest her. She hurt her knee, I think, a little bit in the previous game.
Yeah, in this previous game, at the end of regulation, she landed awkwardly, unfortunately.
A nice catch by Danielle Byers. Another nice catch by Emma Peasley. Danielle Byers. Steph Rupp over a big throw. Oh, but it's secured by Danielle Byers. That was a good, fast offensive point by Strike. Like to see that.
Nice clean hold. Great read there by Byers, trusting that the disc was going to go over the defender. And again, similar to Robin's catch previously, right? Being like, I trust my read. I don't need to go up early with you. I know where it's going first.
This was not an easy catch. The curly, the curve, the edge, making it harder for the defense to find it in the air.
Yeah, make it hard for the defense, but it can also make it hard in the offense sometimes too. So great concentration there by Byers to catch it, and good vision by Rupp. Good job of being like, you know what, I trust my receiver. I know Byers is she's gonna read the disc and she's gonna make a play on it. So some good chemistry there. You could tell Byers knew the kind of throw that was coming up before it even did.
I feel like Minnesota's got really good energy right now. Hopefully they can translate that into a D.
Yeah, it
more of a traditional D line out from Minnesota Strike. Carly Ekstrom with the pull. Carly lived in DC for a couple of years. She actually played Winter League with me. Super fun player to play with.
She played club with me last year on DC Grit.
Oh, that's right.
I got to get lunch with her before this game. Great player and human.
She's so fun. So New York offense, same offensive line. Gina goes out. Barrett comes back for them. Tulsa Douglas there. Jenny De Jesus is there. Give go. So hard to stop that give go with an explosive player like Jesus. A quick break, leading to another break, finding Jenny De Jesus again. She doesn't force it. Resets to Gina. And an easier throw. Still a great catch by Emily Barrett.
Just once again,
smooth like butter.
Great patience. I mean, I know that that Strike hasn't gotten a break at this game, but it's nothing that it doesn't feel that much like it's anything Strike's doing wrong.
Right.
It feels more like New York is just playing at a different level than I've seen them play before. This seems like the cleanest game they've played so far. Just this offense has been clinical, trusting each other, making plays for their friends, right? That's what it's all about, and just that confidence every single time that we can score any way we want. We're just gonna see what you're doing and pick it apart.
So many good catches from everyone all over the roster. That was a very difficult catch by Emily Barrett with the defense right there, but she secures it. And De Jesus right on the end zone line, but doesn't force that inside like a lot of players might. Resets it and immediately gives go to open up another angle.
Yeah, just doing a great job of just trusting each other, right? There seems like there's so much trust and confidence in that New York Gridlock offensive unit.
All right, that looks like another roll-up pull.
It's probably something they're going to try and trap over there is my guess. Interesting they're trapping on the high side this time. But with Robin Fennig, everything's open, you know?
Yes. Emma Peasley is slipping away deep. I'd love to see one of those big hammers again. She curls it around to Stephanie Wood. They keep it on the high side. Reset. Doreen Taylor comes all the way back. Oof. Almost a miscom. Emma Peasley. They're doing a little bit of a dominator-like situation. Doreen Taylor again. Nice one-handed catch. Oh, here's the hammer. Oh!
Great layout attempt.
In and out of the hands.
That's the hard part about staying patient so long, right? At some point, you throw so many throws, you're down in a game. At some point, you're like, I just need to score now. We need to get the disc into the end zone. And felt like it was one of those throws there. Not that Fennig doesn't have it, just a little bit of a you know, we got to score soon.
Right. Big throw from Emma Wyson. Oh, and an amazing catch. Amazing catch by Aki Young.
Just a huge layout.
Her layouts on offense and defense are unbelievable.
Absolutely. She may not be the tallest one on the field, but she can cover so much distance with those huge layouts that she's able to just catch anything within like a 10-foot radius of her, it feels like.
And she makes great defensive plays with that layout too. Sydney Harris with a catch. Let's say Aki Young definitely saved that point for them. Coming up with big plays in clutch games.
See all her teammates out there hugging her.
All right, let's see that again.
By number 52, Sydney Harris.
That was a big throw by Anna Wyson. Never gives up. Oh, it's a huge layout.
And if you want to learn how to lay out in a way that will not injure yourself, look at Aki's form. Just really great job of going out full extension, landing on her chest, not getting her knees caught up there or anything. And after she caught the disc, flipping it over so that it's able to
textbook
to slide in there and not get stuck and potentially injure a shoulder, you know.
And then the forehand assist, she reaches out so much good extension so that she can secure it into Sydney Harris's hands. Oh, that's tough to stop.
That's really tough. Yeah, feels like a bit of a backbreaker there, you know, for that strike.
New York extends its lead again to 17-11, New York.
So strikes out there with their traditional offensive unit again.
Yes, now New York is going backhand again, it looks like. Big backhand. Oh, and a very nice catch by Stephanie Wood, able to secure it under good defensive pressure from New York.
Yeah, great concentration there. You could tell as soon as Robin caught it that that disc was going up to Steph Wood. You didn't know what kind of throw it was going to be, but that disc was going up.
Yes,
and,
yes.
Just a great.
And they're ready for it.
Yeah, the New York defender did a good job of getting into that play, but Steph Wood just uses her body, boxes out, is able to go up strong and just secure the disc. She had a great read on it the whole time, understood that which direction it was going to fade in so that she was able to just run to the right spot and go up strong.
Yes. As the fourth quarter time keeps running on, Minnesota is going to run out of time for a comeback, so those fast scores are really important for them.
Yeah, fast scores and then just
a break, the elusive break.
Just keep trying new stuff, you know, see what sticks, see if you can confuse this Gridlock offense. They've been amazing all game, but you know, you have hope, right? You have great defenders out there. You can cause some havoc, I think.
It's a very strong pull from Minnesota, running down hard. They know time's running out. They have to play really good defense. Pick called on the field. Maybe they're discussing what the stall count was when pick was called.
This is coming back in on 6 from the signal of the observer.
Douglas, those connections are so good.
Just so impressive. You really wouldn't know it's windy out there looking at those two play catch.
Oh, nice bid. But still, another pick call. Emily Barrett is rather open.
Sometimes there's a reason, but looks like she may be keeping. Looks like the pick may have been elsewhere, and since the throw still went up, it can still that throw can still count.
Emily Barrett knocking on the end zone line and secures a throw to Nina Finley.
Great chemistry there by those two. Great job of understanding that the handler in the downfield space was going to go plant and cut back in that 7-cut fashion and create a window for her to throw to.
Another strong hold by New York. The break still remains elusive.
You can see them talking to each other. They just look calm and confident, and I mean, they should be, given the way they've played all game. They earned that for sure. They've been a lot of fun to watch. I love clean offense.
The immediate give back through the center has been super effective for them.
Absolutely.
It doesn't give the defense time to kind of match up or even to put a stall on.
Yeah, and few throwers are as proficient with those inside breaks as either Gina or Tulsa are, and they have two. They have two throwers who are just incredibly proficient at that really difficult throw and understand that the other person has it at a really high level, and that chemistry and combination of ability is just, it's tough to stop.
It is very tough to stop. They're working so well together right now. Robin has it. Goes back to Steph Rupp. Brings it to the middle. Blahnik now. Back to Steph Rupp. Oh, that was a good find. Finding Stephanie Wood there. Another up line. And finds Blahnik in the end zone. Steph Rupp, good sequence for Steph Rupp there on that point.
Yeah, just a nice clean
almost
hold.
Going every other.
Yeah, good flow there by Minnesota Strike. Just a nice clean offensive point there. Robin, you can see trying to pump energy into the team. Like, come on, it's not over. Squad, let's do a thing. Let's do the thing, you know?
Yes.
See if they can get that break, right? Because really, New York has just had that one same O-line every time, right? If they can just get a break or two, you know, those same players can get tired. They can be a little run down. Maybe they can, you know, create a little bit of magic here, right? Just create a little bit of doubt and all that confidence that Gridlock has had all game. And
sometimes a player like Robin Fennig can attract all the defensive pressure and let the others shine, like what happened in this point. And the others, you know, pick up that mantle and like take it right to the end zone. So,
yeah,
that was very well done.
A lot of maturity to be able to do that. It's really hard to say, like, you know that you're such a great player and you just want to help. It can be so tempting. But good job of saying, you know what, a lot of attention's coming to me. I trust you all. I really do. You can do this. I'm going to get out of the way. Take my defense with me. Good job there. And good job by the rest of the Strike offense of just good, clean flow, right?
Yes. All right, 5 minutes left in the last quarter, so it's now or never for a comeback for Minnesota Strike. It's looking like there's a little bit of a saggy defense. Carly's staying in the lane a little bit to make those resets hard. I think they're doing their best to kind of stop this dominator-like situation from the handlers. Oh, that's so hard to stop, though. So good with that quick over-the-top backhands. Mizu and shoots and scores to another Emily Barrett score. She's been scoring a lot for them.
And a really good continuation there, right? Sometimes they've been getting those inside looks, and there hasn't always been a continuation look to keep it going in that direction, right? Once the defense is all behind you. So it was a really good job of Zhou finding Barrett, and great timing by Barrett.
Yes, well, she's been scoring a lot. We're going to see some Emily Barrett highlights here. It's a great catch there. She just really wants it in the end zone.
She got nose for the end zone, and in all sorts of ways, right? All of these goals have been just different ways to score, right?
Yes.
Beating her defender in different ways.
Yes.
Making the smart play, right? Trusting that chemistry, trusting your thrower, and just saying, I'm going to go to a place and then you can hit me.
Feels like Emily Barrett and Jenny De Jesus are the end zone players for Gridlock right today.
Yeah, it feels like they've really just been the finishers for that line. Good job of just keeping that nose for the end zone and just going in there, finishing off plays for them.
Yeah, and a good job by Amy Zhao there, identifying immediately that Emily Barrett's open and just shooting that forehand.
Yeah, she does a great job of just figuring out ways to affect the game, even though they're not all highlights. Being able to just
it looks like Mascara's on for a point. Maybe she said, it looks like fun out there. I want to play a point.
I mean, it does look like fun out there.
It sure does.
Yeah, interesting to see her come in here. Maybe maybe they had been resting her a bit and she wanted to get a couple of reps, test out the knee if it wasn't fully healthy.
Dare I say they're starting to prep for tomorrow.
I think they might be. You never want to get ahead of yourselves, but they might be thinking a little bit about tomorrow, thinking a little bit about how to do that.
Robin Fennig with the big throw. Can't quite find Blenick in the end zone.
Yeah, and that was some good pressure there by Mascara, right? A smart play as a defender, just kind of making Robin think about it a little more as it came out of her hands, providing a little bit of pressure there.
Yep. I saw that she didn't really 100% go for it, but her presence in the end zone in itself is scary. So now New York with another break chance. Some good tight defense from Strike.
Looks like there was a pick call.
Looks like there was a pick call in the middle of the stack, maybe.
That is the hard part about that vertical stack. There's those picks just happen every so often from all the players being so close together. You're trying to create so much space on either side of the stack that sometimes you're all just a little too close to each other.
Was that from Lisa Kowalski? Yeah. Confirming the stall count. All right, a little bit less than 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And Mosquera shoots it to a streaking Abby Chang, who secures it right on the end zone line. Oh, but gets point blocked.
That's Byers' second big point block of the game. Great job there by Byers, not giving up on the play, right? Strikes still has some fight left in them. They know they're down a bit, but they got fight left.
It looks like they were keeping an eye on what cuts were coming and successfully just shifted her mark over to get a piece of that.
And a good job the sideline, probably yelling strike to her, right? Be able to communicate, tell her where to go, what to do.
Big gainer, switching fields. Looks like it's a little bit of a 1-3 junkies look.
Yeah, it looks a little bit junky there. They have Mascara just kind of hanging out deep saying, do you want to test how healthy I am? I don't think so. And they have those three mid players taking away the cutters downfield, and the three handler defenders both being able to challenge resets and sag a bit in the lane so that those upfield options are harder to fit.
Finds Blenick. Oh, but it might be a little bit too far.
And you can feel Mascara's presence a little bit there once again, right?
Yes.
Like even if
you have to put it past her.
Yeah, even if she may not be fully healthy, I don't know. Just her presence out there, I mean, it makes you think twice. It makes you think she's one of the best deep defenders in the world, right? I don't want her to get a D on my throw. So you really think about it. You throw it a little too far. And just that ability to affect the game without touching the disc on defense is impressive.
So we've got Kowalski bringing up the disc, Steph Rupp on defense. New York has to work it the entire field, but as they've shown us, they're up for it. Oh, as I say that, commentators curse.
We're bound for one this game.
The upline throw goes a little bit too far, and Minnesota gets another chance.
It's like a timeout may have been called.
Timeout was called. Okay, the clock gets reset, so it looks like they were able to call the timeout before the turnover again.
Their coach is a little psychic, maybe, yeah. I feel it
this is an interesting strategic aspect about the PUL rule, that it goes back as long as the timeout call by the coach is acknowledged, the turnover is null. They have that green. They call it a flag. To me, it looks like a towel, but the coaches can throw it onto the field and to get the attention of the observer to call the timeout.
Kind of looks like those pennies you wear in PE, you know, those bright ones throwing it up there. Yeah. But you can see that like, you know, Strike is in a rough position here, down by quite a bit with not very much time left at all. But they still seem to just have good energy. They still seem to really trust each other,
lot of heart,
care about each other, play with a lot of heart. And I mean, I still think they've played pretty well today. I think the story is more about just Gridlock's dominance than anything Strike did wrong. And that's, I don't know, got to be a little disheartening. But, you know, sometimes you're like, you know, if they play that well, then maybe they deserve it. So.
So Minnesota still with possession of the disc. Goes back to Robin, finding Randall. All the way over to Danielle Byers. Back to Robin. Fennig, above with a bobble. Angela Zhu with the throw. She puts a big forehand up. And Malinowski pulls it down. Sam Harris with the disc. Over to Brittany Kaplan. And, a very nice catch.
Yeah,
by Becky Malinowski.
The point really felt like it was powered by Malinowski downfield. That throw from Zhu to Malinowski felt like a bit of a trust throw. You have the height here. I'm gonna put it up on a shelf, and I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you
Brute
go do
Squad
the thing.
teammate.
Brute Squad
I know you're gonna
teammate.
come down with this.
Yeah, and then Becky got open in the end zone, and you could kind of see her go, "Hey, look at me! I'm wide open.
Yep,
I want it."
It was almost a little bit short, but she did a great job reeling it in.
Yeah.
All right, let's see those big throws on replay. Angela immediately, big flick huck, under pressure from Robin Fennig, picks it up.
Yes, they took advantage of a little bit of a miscommunication there by the strike defenders, and were able to just get Malinowski wide open, and she used her height both vertically and then she used her height to go horizontally that point to really show the range of which is just very impressive.
Yes, big smile. She knew she did a great job.
I mean, she's happy. It's looking like they're gonna go to the championship game tomorrow, right? Up by 7 with 38 seconds left. She's excited. They all look excited.
Yes, very excited.
It looks like they maybe are thinking about tomorrow, right? This is, I think, one of the points that Joe has moved over to this D line here. Maybe they're thinking about, you guys want a couple reps of this for tomorrow.
Yes.
Let's move over someone who I assume would cross lines if needed. She has a great background as a defensive player.
But this might be the starting D line for tomorrow.
Yeah, you never know. And looks like Strike is putting out more of their D line here, even though they're receiving on offense.
Oh, and Aki Young steals. It's very hard at this point to play without hoping for a faster score on their part.
Oh yeah, that mental game of not trying to force it when you're down in this sort of situation is really tough. And we'll see if New York tries for a bit of a buzzer beater here. 5 seconds left. Are they Stasi gonna put up a big throw to the end zone?
Yes.
But there's mostly Strike there.
Mostly Strike there. Luisa Neves can't quite get it. And the buzzer.
Wow. What a performance.
This is the end of the semifinal. This is a very exciting game. Like you said, Minnesota played well, but Gridlock just outplayed them today.
Yeah, Gridlock, I think, is really putting a statement in to say, hey, whoever has to play us tomorrow, good luck, because we are capable of putting together just a phenomenal game. And if they play like this again tomorrow, I feel like got to be the favorite of regardless of who they're playing with that level of efficiency.
Final score, New York 20, Minnesota 13. Lots of smiles.
And a great season by Strike. Undefeated all regular season. Came here. I think they still showed up well in the semifinal as the Midwest representative. And great season for them. Great job, Strike, this year.
They were missing about 6 or 7 of their regular players, I think, also to various weddings and such events. So
yeah,
maybe a little bit of a tough weekend for them, but no, they had a fantastic season. Okay, and so as this semifinals concludes, we're going to be looking forward to the next semifinals, which is going to be between DC Shadow and Raleigh Radiance. What do you think about that matchup? That's another rematch right there.
Another rematch. They played in DC's last game of the regular season 2 weeks ago on this same field. I believe DC won 15-12 in a game that was pretty tight. And I do think Radiance was missing some players for that game who are now going to be able to travel, and some of their stars come from that UNC Pleiades team who maybe a little tired after winning yet another college championship.
They certainly didn't look tired.
Yeah, but we'll see.
Three-peat.
Yeah, we'll see what they're able to do. See if Radiance is able to make some adjustments, get a few players back. I think DC is missing a few players for a wedding as well. And we'll see if they can build off that close game and make it even closer, maybe even pull a bit of an upset here. That would be another exciting game, hopefully.
Yes. Definitely the game 2 weeks ago, they both sides were holding off a tiny bit, I think, because they had already secured a spot in the championship game. So.
Yeah, and all smiles here by Gridlock. I think whoever wins this game later today, Gridlock has got to feel good about their chances, right?
Yes.
They put on quite the show today. They gave DC their only loss of the season earlier this year. Like, Gridlock's just got to feel good about their chances tomorrow against whoever they face. I'm sure they'll go get some food, do a little scouting after this. And
these are the smiles of athletes who knew they played a very, very good game.
And they did. They really did.
So few errors.
So few errors. That offense was just rock solid, and the D-line just continued to grind, continued to wear down the Strikes O-line until they were able to just really get on more of a break train there in the second half and just open up the score. Just a complete performance top to bottom. They used their depth, their stars were awesome. It was great.
I think Gridlock was able to show that they deserve a spot in the championship games.
Absolutely.
So that's great. Great for the fans. Okay. So we are going to have a sideline interview with Amy Jo, Laura Osterland again, player of the game.
What's the difference between that game and this game?
Yeah, when we play strike, it was after a long day of travel, and we're pretty slow to get into the game. I think we did a great job coming back throughout the entire game. I felt like we made a lot of adjustments and improved throughout the game. So we're pretty confident in the trajectory. But today, we started off hot and we kept it. And I mean, we've been improving throughout the entire season. So this wasn't unexpected. Like, we knew we could play at this level.
So you had a completely clean game. I don't think there were any breaks by strike. How do you think that happened?
I didn't know that. That's a great stat. Honestly, some of it is luck. A lot of it is hard work. I think it helps that our D-line just put on a great game, and we had time to rest. We had time to talk about adjustments and make them. So I think really O-line not getting broken, it's a testament to the entire team, not just the O-line.
And do you have anything that you're going to take away from this game going into the final tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, all week we've been hearing about how we don't deserve to be here, and we proved to ourselves and to everyone we do deserve to be here. And yeah, we can play with the best of them.
And then is there anybody that really stepped up in that second half for your team?
That's a really hard question. I mean, I feel like we had big plays by Aki, Squid, Becky, and everyone who's just grinding away doing the little things that matter. That matters, but a couple of big plays doesn't hurt the morale. So yeah, people coming through big really helped.
All right, and finally, how are you feeling right now?
I had a lot of caffeine earlier. I accidentally took a caffeine pill that I didn't realize was caffeine, so I'm pretty amped up. I gotta calm down so I can sleep tonight and get ready for tomorrow's game, but that was great. It felt like the win that we've been working all season towards. It's not over yet. We got one more game tomorrow, so it's like enjoy the feelings and then get ready to get a good night's sleep and come back tomorrow.
All right, and there you have it. Tomorrow, Gridlock will play in the final. Back to you in the booth.
Okay. Now we're going to show you the Discraft play of the game. It's going to be the fantastic foot block by Byers of Minnesota Strike.
Yeah, Byers had 2 great point blocks this game. Either one could have easily been play of the game, and that was a really good hold there on that end zone line, able to keep out that Gridlock from scoring. So great play there by Byers.
Some highlights from the game coming up. Long throw. Great catch.
Yeah, this was a really fun game to watch, I think, today.
Yes.
I know the score wasn't that close, but I just think both teams played well. There were great plays made on both sides.
Yes, that was the foot block. by
Yeah.
Myers. I think that the initial two, another good point block in the game, the initial two breaks were really effective for New York, and they were able to carry that and not allow any breaks from Minnesota. So
absolutely,
that kind of decided the game there. Okay, that concludes our coverage of the first semifinals. Thank you for joining us, and please join us for the next semifinals coming up at 7 o'clock.